Survivor fans, welcome back. Season 35, episode 4. I don't like having snakes around. It's a new twist, new tribes, and a new lead host. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Let it hit. Welcome in, Survivor fans.
What's up, guys?
We're back. It's the Mike and Mike show. We're running a two-man game tonight. We don't got any ladies in the house.
Nope, all gentlemen tonight.
Hopefully no snakes either. My name is Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips. Page is out, so I'm in the hot seat. I guess I'm leading. But my man is here.
What's
Introduce
up?
yourself.
What's up, everybody? I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. And Dom is out, so like we said, it's just the Michael show tonight.
That's right. It's the Mike and Mike show. We're doing it live. We're doing it real. We're doing it right now. Join us in the live chat. We're gonna get involved with you guys. Man, tonight's episode.
Awesome. I feel like Paige and Dom are gonna like really regret missing this episode because this has been the most exciting tribal we've had.
This was one of the best tribals I can remember in
Yeah.
the past 3 seasons, to be honest.
I don't know. There were a lot. I know you missed a lot of episodes last season, but there was some great ones on Game Changers. Just saying, Michael.
So we'll get to tribal later, but let's start with bringing it into episode 4.
Yep.
I don't like having snakes around. So we start tonight's episode with the hashtag drop your buffs.
Hashtag drop your buffs.
And we say goodbye to the heroes, hustlers, and healers tribes because it's time for a game change right away. We have 15 players left, and we're going to cycle them into new tribes.
Yep.
So let's break that down as we start on day 9 with 3 new tribes. We have the Lavu tribe, the Soko tribe, and the Yawa tribe. And let's just run down like let's break down each tribe. So we have Lavu. We had Ashley, Desi, Alan, Joe, and Devin.
Yep.
I want initial takes on each of these tribes, and also if you're joining us in the live chat or you're watching, let us know what you think, and we will shout you out or get you involved as well. So what do you think about the way that they broke the tribes down, starting with Lavu?
Well, my initial thing with Lavu is that Ashley and JP got split up. So they can't be considered a power couple anymore. So I thought that that could have been a good thing for Ashley. But then at the same time, I look at it and she's still on the same team with Alan. And I was like, Alan's might let her live it down. He might not. He might want to try to get rid of her before they go to the merge if JP's still around, because, when they go to the, challenges, they can see who's still around. And then also when I saw Alan and Joe were on the same team, I was like, paranoia is going to be
too much
real on this team because
those two together.
And we kind of saw that tonight, and we'll get to it.
We did see that tonight.
Yeah.
So that's the Lavu breakdown. We go to the second new tribe, which is going to be Soko. That's Ryan, Allie, Chrissy, JP, and Rourke. Initial takeaways there.
I was actually glad that Chrissy and Ryan were on the same team because, as we saw later on in the episode, Ryan was able to tell her what he did for her, tried to do for her. I like that Allie and Ryan are on the same team because I feel like they're going to work really closely together. So I feel like her, Ryan, and Chrissy are going to become a little closer. And I feel like JP and Rourke are going to be on the outs. But I guess we can talk about that in predictions. Those are just my initial thoughts.
I'm hoping that's not the case because I like JP a lot.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, he's actually on my fantasy team. So, I mean, I should be rooting for him.
Now.
But I should like him more.
Shout out to James. Shout out to Eric. Thank you guys for joining us in the live chat.
What's up, guys?
And let's get to the third and final new tribe. That's Yawa. That's Jessica. That's Lauren, Cole, Ben, and Mike. So one quick takeaway that I had, obviously, somehow, Jessica, Cole, they're still together.
Yeah.
So what are our thoughts here?
I was kind of hoping that all the couples would get split up. So when I saw Jessica and Cole were on the same team, I was like, okay, I could deal with at least one couple being together. I really felt bad for Lauren because, once again, she's on my fantasy team as well. And I thought that she was going to be on the bottom if they were going to go to tribal.
Which we find out that they don't go to tribal.
Nope.
Not to ruin anything, but if you're watching us, you know that.
Yeah.
So interesting enough to me was Ben initially saying how he, losing Chrissy, he split from Chrissy.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even know anyone. He immediately is worried. It's funny how it was only 9 days, but it seems like you split the tribes up and everyone feels like, oh my God, it's almost like you're totally restarting. And some of them get super nervous, like the whole game is restarting. But I think maybe it's not really like that. I mean, it's just a continuation of the game, not as like where you have to worry about starting all over again and get nervous about it at least. I mean, I feel like it probably should be easier on day 9 than on day 1 because you've been out there 8 days to get accustomed to what's going on. And so you should have a little bit of gameplay mentality going on. It's not fresh. Like, you can use some of the advantages or disadvantages that you saw from the start and try to take that into your game at day 9. So it sometimes concerns me when they get so worried about where they are on a new tribe. I get if you lost, you know, someone that you were aligned with, but I feel like you know that's coming.
I mean, I feel like that's true in to a certain extent. I mean, yes, you have been playing the game for 8 or 9 days now. You are in this game mindset, but I feel like once you go to a new tribe, if you don't know anybody on that tribe, it is like you're starting over. Like you like Ben, for example. Ben didn't know anybody else on his tribe, so technically Ben is starting over. But like you said, he does have this game mindset, so he's not getting his feet wet. His feet are already wet. He's already swimming.
Yeah, you put that really well, actually. So I agree with that, though. That you might not have someone, so you have that little newness, but it's also, I think, easier that you've had the 8 days to get used to the conditions.
Yeah.
Kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
That's something.
And that's why we love Survivor, because they switch it up so much. And I feel like when they do things like drop your buffs or the merge and stuff like that, it's a social game, and this just challenges your social abilities to the extreme.
Agreed. So quick question for you, and also quick question for you guys that are watching in our live chat and that watch this later. When Cody and Jessica pick for the new tribes.
Who's Cody?
I'm sorry, Cole.
Cole.
I keep calling Cole.
Like,
when Cole and Jessica,
Yeah.
They pick for their new tribes, who's more excited that they got red? That they picked the same one? Like, is Jessica
I
or
felt
Cole?
like Jessica was initially like more excited.
You think so?
Yeah, and I feel like she is feeling Cole a little bit more than Cole is feeling her. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. And if I get shit for it, I get shit for it. I just feel like because she's an older woman and she's got this younger guy like tailing after her, like I feel like she just wants to be next to him at like all the time. I think that has changed though after this episode.
Yeah, that has. Things happen in tonight's episode. We'll get to it. And just for the record, to clear this up, because I keep calling Cole Cody, I watched this entire season of Big Brother, and shout out to you, Eric, for saying that. Jessica and Cody took over the whole entire thing, so it's still in my head. I can't get rid of them. I'm sorry, Cole. It's Cole. I won't make that mistake anymore.
I knew that's exactly why you were saying Cody.
So anyways, it's another CBS show, but that was Big Brother. I'm on Survivor. All right, Cole and Jessica. Anyways, let's get to the reward challenge, because that's what's up next. And I loved this one because it was called the Pbj Bonanza.
Yes.
What a great reward. I'm a huge PB&J fan. I'm sure you are.
Yep. Who's not?
Exactly. And then that's
Did you see that bread that they won?
That was amazing. I want to know, how do you like your PB&J?
I like it with more peanut butter than jelly, just because I feel like the jelly's a little too sweet. Right? Am I the only one? Okay, good.
I like to put peanut butter on both sides of the bread.
Right.
And then sandwich it with the jelly in the middle. What kind of jelly are we talking?
Grape.
Grape?
It has to be grape. I can't do anything else.
I'm going to say raspberry.
Oh,
raspberry.
That's a good one.
My top one, raspberry. But I'll do all sorts of stuff. Let us know what you guys think about the PB&J.
Wait, I just have to ask this
go.
question. Do you like it cut down the middle or cut in triangles?
I actually triangles.
Me too.
Triangles.
See, the Michael show, Michael twins, that's what we're going to go with.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I found weird about this, though, was that they added the bags of chips in there. I feel like just so they could add whatever they added in the bag. Because I was like, peanut butter and jelly and chips?
Also, I'm not going to lie, when they said they were getting individual bags of chips, I was sure it was like Lay's or some sponsored thing. I didn't even think it was going to be like just throwing like tortilla chips into a bag, which also when they showed the bags, if you guys noticed this, I did, I'm weird, they had like the most grease on the bottom of the bag.
Yeah.
What happened there? Like that was weird. I get it that they wanted to sneak that little disadvantage thing and chip in there, but anyways,
come on, Survivor, it's season 35.
So
we have a bigger budget than that.
In the PB&J Bonanza, our new team Yawa wins.
Yeah.
And it seems like Yawa is it's together.
It's funny because Yawa is the red team, which used to be the hustler team. I feel like there's some good juju in the red team because they just keep winning.
They keep winning.
It's
that's right.
like, I don't know, maybe there's some power in those red buffs because they just keep winning.
They do keep winning.
I mean, I was kind of surprised because I thought that the healers were going to throw it out. Soku was going to come out with it. I knew Joe, Allen, and Ashley weren't going to make it because they were just falling way too far behind.
Seriously.
Which was surprising because Allen was the one throwing the ring to get the sled, and he didn't even hitch it.
Well, that wasn't the first time that Allen had struggled. I mean, he might have played in the NFL, but we saw last week he couldn't cut the coconut. It took him like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was struggling with the ring. So apparently, just because you played in the NFL, then it doesn't necessarily translate.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Not
Just
to
so we
everyday
know that,
life.
guys. So,
Yeah.
anyways, that's pretty much our reward challenge. Let's get to a little bit of the action when we see them getting to know each other at their different tribes.
Yes.
And let's start with Yawa, since they were the winners of the Pbj Bonanza.
Mm-hmm.
So we get shots of them at tribe. And this is where we learn about the chips. And
Yes.
while Jessica goes into her bag, she recognizes there's a secret advantage chip in there, where she says, funny enough, that she was just staring at her chips for too long, which
She really was, though.
it's kind of funny, like, what's in there?
She really was.
But no one noticed, and no one called it out. And basically, she wins the advantage, which says to her, she finds out later, that basically you can block one person from voting at tribal, but only the next tribal,
Yep.
which is the theme this season, right?
Yeah.
That all of these advantages, for the most part, are only good for the upcoming
challenge.
which-
Or tribal.
an upcoming tribal, which I would like to take a minute and ask you, do you like that idea? Because that seems like that's a theme in this season.
I was just going to bring it up because I feel like Survivor always has this really cool way of like, it's 35 seasons. What else? And I said this in previous episodes. What else can you do that's new? And I feel like them introducing all of these like secret advantages just keeps the players on their toes. Like, you never know what's going to happen. And point in case, what happened at Tribal, like, it was literally the perfect thing that could possibly have happened.
Absolutely.
And I like their secret advantages. I hope they keep going throughout the season.
I agree that I think that it's hard to come up with new things when you get to season 35, but this one I kind of like also the fact that they're doing these secret advantages, which are only good for the week, and if you don't get to use it, you have to give it to someone else to use, so that it's still in play. It's mixing up potential alliances, potential down the road connections, and it's adding another layer to the gameplay where you really think about like you're outwitting and outplaying. This is another one way to utilize that. So I like what they're doing here. So Jessica gets that. At the same time, she then shares with Cole
And Mike.
And Mike that she has found this advantage. That doesn't stay between Jessica, Cole, and Mike for that long.
I was actually surprised that she told Cole and Mike together. I thought she was only going to tell Cole.
Agreed.
But then at the same time, they're on this new tribe. They're all three of them are healers. So it took me a little bit by surprise, but not too much. What did catch me by surprise is that when Cole went and told Ben and then went and told Lauren, I was like, what's happening? Why was this happening?
And how quickly he did that. It wasn't
even like an hour.
It was just immediately, like, how quickly he went and just shared that information.
Right.
And it's kind of odd because it seemed like he was having something really going with Jessica. He even mentioned her being a dream girl of his just a couple days ago. In real time, just a couple days, and he would so quickly go and take this dream girl information and in this new tribe and immediately just disperse it. Like, it didn't make sense.
Like, it's not yours to tell.
It's not your place.
No.
And he didn't ask Jessica, and it didn't seem like he doesn't even know these new people really yet. So, interesting.
I mean, if we think about it in the grand scheme of things, like, yes, she could only use it at the next tribal, and that's only if they went to tribal. So it's not like this huge deal. But the way that he told them, he made it out to be a huge deal, because now they probably think that she still has this kind of advantage over their heads. So it definitely puts a target on their back.
Interestingly enough, when Lauren finds this out, she specifically says, it's odd he told us that. She doesn't even necessarily believe him.
Right.
It's almost as if she thinks he's basically playing her.
Yeah.
So
that's because Lauren is smart, and that's why she's on my fantasy team.
And that's why you're smart. Lauren is definitely smart, also somewhat defensive, just always kind of wondering what's happening.
Which is good. You always have to be on your
she's
toes.
On her toes, alert. That's Yawa. Let's move over to Lavu, where
Soku.
Okay, let's go to Soku next. Soku. We see Ryan is now teamed up with Chrissy, who he's used a secret advantage from the week one to give to Chrissy, and now they're on the same team. So now we already see how that can come into play, and they have a conversation about that, about being together.
I was actually really excited about that because I feel like Ryan and Chrissy can make a really good. I don't want to use the word power couple because I'm really tired of that phrase, but I think they can make a good team. She's like on one opposite. She's like a Gen X. He's a millennial. Them putting their two heads together. She's very smart. He seems to be a very strategic, like, social player. He seems to know a lot about Survivor. I think that they can make a really good team together. And I like that Chrissy said, I'll be able to pay you back, but then she takes it right back and she's like, well, not pay you back, but you know what I mean. Like, she's like, there's no way that I could ever pay back what you did for me, but I'm on your side.
Right. I actually do think that them two together can definitely be powerful because they both are smart.
Yeah.
And kind of in different ways, but the same way also. It's funny to me how Chrissy mentions that maybe Ryan did that because maybe I look like his mother, is what Chrissy said.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how their alliance, friendship develops together and goes down the road, because I think them two together can go a long distance.
I agree.
I like Ryan a lot. He actually seems like he's grown on me quickly. Does seem like a new version of Cochran.
To you,
Smart,
yeah. Oh,
smart,
yeah. No, he's definitely
a
smart.
little undersized in style, but
yeah,
he
I can see the similarities.
so
there,
there's just a little bit of that there. So
I think what I love about the Chrissy and Ryan alliance the most is that they're breaking the boundaries and they're breaking the rules, because I feel like with every other tribe, they're sticking to, oh, we're heroes, you're healers, we're gonna go against each other, like in the Levu tribe. Whereas Chrissy's a hero, Ryan's a hustler, and they're working together. So I feel like that's what you have to do once these tribes switch. You can't keep this old mentality of, no, we came in this as hustlers, and if I have a hustler on my team, I have to align with them. No, you are in a new tribe. You have to drop these titles and go and do your own game.
well, definitely, and I think that that's the way you have to be looking at the game too, because you have to know that you're going to get another time where you're now at some point you're going to get down to the time where they break 3 tribes into 2 tribes.
Yep.
So you have to eventually branch out from your own, beginnings, so that your game can go further.
I agree.
So speaking of the third and final new tribe, that would be Levu.
Yeah.
And that is comprised again of Ashley, Desi, Alan, Joe, and Devin. And immediately we see Alan and Ashley having a conversation about their last chapter and if they could start a new chapter.
Which is what I was just hinting at. Like once you go into this new tribe, you do have to let go of that old tribe. But at the same time, they're both heroes and they're still both sticking to that, rather than branching out. And they kind of did by trying to persuade Devin to join them. What I didn't like was that Joe and Desi wants to stick with Joe just because he's a healer with her, whereas I'm like, Desi, you have to think Joe could be a detriment to your game. Like you need to start branching out. If she would have teamed up with Ashley, I would have loved that. That would have been awesome. But that's not what happened, because they're both healers.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
And what you're talking about is straight on point. And speaking of Joe, it's nothing has changed for Joe from the last chapter to the new chapter. No, because he immediately is starting trouble. He's goes up to Devin with this whole kind of complete lie, being deceitful, and he thrives on that basically.
Yeah.
I don't think that Joe's long for the game. What do you think?
I don't think so either. I think that he has a very, very short time in this game. I think there are ways to play this lying, sneaky, manipulative game. Tony did it very well. I don't think that Joe is doing it very well.
Yeah, it's not when you're out in front, like boasting your chest and being center of attention and spreading this, because eventually you get taken out.
Yeah.
So that we're gonna have to see how it goes. Let us know what you guys think in the live chat. Also, okay, so those are our new 3 tribes.
Yep.
And then we move to immunity tonight.
Yeah. Oh wait, just sorry. Yeah, just take a step back. Back to the Yawa tribe.
Okay.
So Jessica finds out that, or Mike goes and tells Jessica that Ben and Lauren know, because Lauren went up to Mike and was like, hey, trying to feel him out. Do you know about blah, blah, blah? And Mike was cool. Mike was like, oh, I'm going to play it cool. That was the first kind of social game that I saw from Mike, being like, oh, let me like make it a clear decision to lie about not knowing what Jessica told me. So in reality, he was trying to protect Jessica, but Cole wasn't. And then I love how they're on the raft and this whole thing is happening. Mike's telling her, and then Cole tried to lie about, oh no, I didn't tell them. And
then he says that he told.
And then he like backtracked real fast.
I told Ben.
Yeah.
Right? That's
which is still a lie, because he told both of them. And
Yeah.
then I'm just glad that he said something initially, because if he hadn't and Jessica would have been like, no, it was Mike, I'd have been pissed. I'd have been like, now you're blaming Mike for something, and Mike was the one who's trying to protect you all along. I'm glad that Cole was like, you know what, it was me. But it's still stupid that he lied.
Yeah, Cole was busted. Jessica was sad.
Yeah.
We're going to have to see how that develops.
Yeah, I think this might be the break in the relationship. That's why I had to bring it up.
We're going to find out soon enough,
Yeah.
I believe, about them. anyways, we move to a immunity where again a familiar winner.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd you think of, I guess before we get to Yawa winning the actual immunity challenge? Anything unique to you?
I thought that this was a really, I don't, and guys in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they've played this immunity challenge before, at least not to my knowledge right now. But this one was complicated. I thought that this one was a hard one. Usually you can like in the reward challenge, it was like the upright puzzle and it said heroes versus hustlers versus blah, blah, blah. I was telling Mike I'm really bad with alliteration,
Heroes,
you guys.
hustlers, and
Thank you. Yes, that one. But this one was weird because you couldn't have the same color on the same colors like Sudoku or Sudoku, whatever the hell it's called. I thought this challenge was really complicated. So I thought it was going to be closer, I thought it was going to be closer than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So when Yawa came out with it, I was like, oh, cool. What I did notice was that Jessica was a standout for me in Yawa because she's a good communicator, and she was a good communicator on the reward challenge also when she was like kind of yelling at Mike, but she takes charge in these puzzle challenges, and she did the same thing in this challenge. So she's a benefit because she's smart and she's not afraid to voice her opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up on that too. I think that she gives like, it's almost like constructive criticism where she gives you some type of maybe criticism or at least push, but she does it in a way that you can accept it and like work with it, not where it frustrates you. It's kind of like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she doesn't stay quiet too, so it's good.
Yeah, no, I definitely think, and it's sad because as a female player, you can't be too over the top, otherwise you'll be considered a bitch. But then you can't be too demure because then people will be like, well, you didn't do anything. So I feel like she's got that really even balance, like of being right in the middle, like you said. What did you think of Ashley struggling for Levu? Is it Levu or Levu? I might be saying it wrong.
I think it's Levu.
Levu. All right, let's just say Levu.
But we can say whatever.
Whatever. Because she had the hardest time with the keys, and she was the one that really like caused them to fall behind.
Yeah.
And
I think that she's lucky that kind of didn't come up. I think for her sake.
that's why I was surprised that it didn't come up.
Yeah. I mean, I think I need to see her a little bit more in the challenges to know if that was just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Or it's been or it's like a theme.
Yeah.
Really moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was just the one thing that stood out to me.
Yeah.
I was like, well, why did they lose? And the only person that I can go to is Ashley because she took so much time in the keys.
No one really mentioned it during their tribal or during their conversations before tribal.
Yeah.
So Yawa wins. Soku second, sending Levu to tribal.
The tribal, yep. Which I found interesting because then Jessica, we immediately knew she had to give up her secret advantage to somebody on the Levu tribe.
And just the way that they did it again, I said it in the first episode. I wish that they would show us a little bit more on how it all goes down. You know? It would be nice if something. I mean, even if they just showed us a bird, like a mockingbird or something. Like, come on.
I mean, I was on the same page after the first episode because I was like, that was just like it magically appeared. But after this one, I see that they're trying to get into a theme or a rhythm with these secret advantages just popping up. So I'm kind of on board with it now, just being wherever it is.
Well, it's another suggestion. This is a point of the show that I want to ask you guys in the live chat. Let us know any suggestions you think that would improve Survivor during the season, whatever it may be. One suggestion that I've put out in past seasons, and I'll do again, like for example in tonight's tribal, or even sometimes in the reward, it would be nice, I think, if they had like a little timer box to tell us how long they've been doing a certain challenge, because it could be 3 minutes, or maybe they've been doing that for 15 minutes. Give us some type of idea to really help with understanding of where they're at. Like if they've been out there 20 minutes, okay, maybe they're more tired because you recognize they're 20 minutes into something. It's understandable that they'd be more tired. Maybe they're 5 minutes in and they're tired and you're like, why are they so tired quickly? Just some type of more than just when Jeff is saying, well, it's hot out, or you know what I mean? Like he said, it's another hot day in Fiji. Something like that. I want to see, the timer or something. I always want to see that. It's sort of how I keep saying I want them to show us more about the secret advantages being moved around. But I don't know. It's one suggestion that I would like.
No, it's a good suggestion. And I feel like they do that once they do the merge and they're in their single individual challenges. They do the whole 20 minutes has passed, 30 minutes has passed. But just to piggyback on that, if I could make a suggestion with the timer box, I feel like they just need to do that with tribal as well, because these tribals, I'm sure all of our Super Survivor fans know, these tribals go on for a lot longer than the 5 minutes that they show. And if they could show us like, hey, this tribal's been going on for 45 minutes, like I feel like that would put a different perspective on it for us. So
Agreed.
I'm on the same boat with you with the timer box.
Because we recognize we're watching the show. We recognize they're fitting in 3 days worth for one episode, let's say, sometimes more, sometimes less. But if they can give us that, it gives us a little bit more understanding of, they're at tribal for an hour, 2 hours, or this was a 10-minute tribal. So you have a better idea to grasp really what's happening. And I think share with us what you guys think about our suggestions, and then add to that what you guys suggest, and maybe we'll get CBS to help us out here.
Well, I just need to shout out Thomas McGee really quick because he had a cool little idea. Force 2 players of your choosing to compete in an instant fire making challenge. I feel like that's a good idea to an extent, Thomas, but I feel like they reserve the fire making to when it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, when it's like super serious.
Fire making is like Jess says, when you get fired, that represents your life. So when you have these 2 fire making challenges, if they're just throwing these fire making challenges around willy-nilly, it's like the fire symbolism loses its intensity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea to an extent.
You know what I just also want to add?
Yeah.
Another suggestion I'm going to throw out and tell me what you guys think. Similar to like I've been calling Cole Cody from Big Brother, and you can watch extra Big Brother on the cams.
Yeah.
We should have the cams of the tribes when this show is not on. So if you wanted, maybe you could see more in-depth back behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, no,
like
I
the
agree.
same way that CBS does for Big Brother.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't do that yet. They have
Yeah,
35
Ponderosa has been really
after, right?
Yeah, after they get eliminated and going to the house and stuff like that, they've been pretty the fans have reacted really positively to that. So I'm sure they would react to a Survivor After Dark.
It's reality
challenge.
TV. I'm sure you guys want more TV, right? So shout out to Thomas. Thank you, Joseph and Eric, and shout out to Eric. It's his birthday coming up, and I want him to know we wish him a very happy birthday. All right, so that's immunity. They're gonna go to tribal. So we're looking at Lavu. Joe and Alan, to me, seem like they're gonna have conflict because they're very similar in that they kind of want to be the alpha.
Yeah.
It seems like, but they're kind of, in my eyes, fake alphas. Because they don't really deserve to be alphas. They kind of like pretend like they're the alpha, but they're not actually, like, they're not really alphas.
Yeah.
In the sense that they don't have all the chops to be the alpha.
Yeah, and I feel like that comes from what they do for a living. Alan was a former NFL player. You have to have this huge ego to be an NFL player. At least that is what I've experienced with NFL players. And Joe is a probation officer, so he has to act like a badass in front of all of these, people that he deals with on a daily basis. So I understand why they both think that they're alphas, but I don't feel it at all. Like, I feel like an alpha is somebody who listens, who can, divvy up responsibility and figure out what needs to be done at specific times, and it's not losing their cool.
Like
these two lose their cool like all the time.
An alpha is like a real leader.
Yeah.
And these days we got a lot of fake leaders going around. Speaking of Joe, he was tonight called a car salesman, which he seems like he'd be a good car salesman, right?
He was called a lot of things. He was called a car salesman. He's called a snake.
Yeah,
he's called a lot of things.
A lot of things. So he's got a lot of things going for him as far as nicknames. Interesting how Devin was able to decipher that about Joe quickly.
Yeah.
He's just in the tribe, and he quickly thinks that he's already feeling that vibe from Joe. So Devin is the swing vote.
Yeah.
Devin has this advantage, the secret advantage that he gets.
Yeah.
Right before they're heading off the tribal. He's super excited about that, right?
Yes. I was a little confused, though, because I thought that was an actual advantage. I didn't completely understand. I don't know if that's how you guys felt in the chat or people watching as well, but I thought that she was giving him this secret advantage so that he can block somebody, not that he was blocked. You get what I'm saying?
I think that they did that on purpose because I thought that he got the advantage to be a secret advantage.
Right.
That's how they sold it to us. But I think it was a bait and switch in the sense that they played us, and it was good. It was good by Survivor and CBS, I thought, because it made it seem like he was the lucky winner. So he's headed off to tribal, and he's feeling good. Like, oh man, I got this vote. Like, I'm gonna be able to use this secret advantage thing. I mean, let's see.
Yeah.
And
sorry to interrupt you, but before we even go to tribal, I need to talk about this Joe and Alan blow up at tribal because we see this sometimes. We don't see it very often where they have these blow-ups about what's going to happen at tribal, and we don't necessarily exactly know what is going to happen in tribal because we see they don't show us all the conversations that happened before tribal, but in this case they did. And Alan was like, well, I'm not voting for Ashley, and Joe's like, well, I'm not voting for Desi, so here we are. Like, we knew who was voting who. Like, going into this tribal, we knew who was going to be voting for who. We even knew who Devin was going to be voting for. That's why I was like pissed at first that he got this secret advantage because I thought it was an actual advantage because I was like, well, he's obviously gonna block Desi or Joe. That was my initial thoughts.
Well, the last thing before we get to tribal was I really enjoyed how Desi, when she was talking to Joe about it, she basically just threw it to Joe like, look, you should play your idol for me then.
I'm glad you brought that up.
She went right for the 100% kill shot and like,
yeah.
if you really mean what you just messed up, well, play your idol for me. And obviously he wasn't going to do that.
That was such a boss move.
That was a boss move.
That was a boss
strong move by
I
Desi.
was really, really happy. Like, they haven't been showing her a lot, and somebody said it earlier in the chat. I forgot who it was. Forgive me. But they said that because Desi was being shown so much in this episode, they thought it might be foreshadowing that she would be going home.
Yeah.
That was another thing that I had to give credit to for Survivor, because I always bitch about them about, foreshadowing who's going to go home, so you know who's going to go home. And in this episode, I literally, until Tribal, had no idea, which I thought that was cool.
Agreed. So we're headed to tribal. Devin is feeling himself because he thinks he's going with the secret advantage. So they get to tribal, and Joel has his idol.
Yep.
Joe has his idol.
Oh, that's another thing. Sorry, that I didn't bring up. Cole knew about Joe's idol, and now that they got separated, I'm wondering if Cole, who likes to tell everybody's secrets, is going to tell his whole new tribe that Joe actually has an idol, but now he can't even because Joe played his idol.
Also, it'll be interesting to see if Cole will remember that.
Yeah.
Or if he's... You would think he would, but he may be the type that forgets quickly on
I don't know. I
things.
think he will remember it.
And it'll be interesting to see if he starts to tell people about that, if that even comes into play. That might just be...
Well, if he doesn't remember, Jessica will remember it because he told Jessica, so she'll know.
So tribal plays out with a lot of, he said, she said, Alan versus Joe,
Devin in the middle.
And then right before they're gonna vote, that's when Devin reveals that he has the secret advantage.
Yes.
And which basically says that you should open this right before you go to vote, and then read it out to everyone. At which point he does that and finds out that he is actually not allowed to vote in tonight's tribal, which was the surprise to everybody. And so I thought that was awesome, actually, because that was totally unexpected.
Yeah.
Like, that was completely the opposite of what I expected. So I think from a reality standpoint and show standpoint, I appreciated that.
Yeah, that's why I love these secret advantages, because you don't know what's going to happen, and they do twists like this that you're like, oh my God.
He really had the secret disadvantage, and he thought, though, he had the advantage. So it's like his emotions went from, like, running high to running real low real quick.
Did you see Joe's face when he, like, said it was a secret advantage? Joe was like, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, too. Like, I don't even like Joe like that, but I was just worried for Desi.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Desi,
I really, really am attached to Desi after this episode, because like after that boss move that she played, I was like, okay, I'm starting to really like her. But I thought that they were going to target, like they said throughout the tribal, that to hurt Joe they were going to hit Desi, and that's what I thought was going to happen. So as soon as he was like, I have an advantage, I was like, that's it, Desi's going home.
Yeah, and I thought that actually it wasn't Desi. I thought it was going to be Ashley, because Joe plays his idol. So then we have 2 votes for Joe. They're thrown out. And then we have 2 other votes, which end up going to Alan. At that point, before we see that, I thought they were going to go to Ashley. I thought Ashley was going home. I was wrong. Alan goes home. He gets played. I mean, he really couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they went after Desi and not Joe. But, I mean...
See, I thought that it was going to be a little different. I thought with the secret advantage, I thought that he was going to block Joe's vote. So then it would have been Alan and Ashley voting for Desi, only Desi voting for Alan or Ashley. So that's why I thought Desi was going to go home, because I thought that Joe's vote was going to be blocked.
Desi stays.
Yeah.
The tribe is down to 4.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting now to see how the Joe and Desi relationship plays out. Is she totally off of Joe because he doesn't have his idol now, and he didn't play the idol for her?
Yeah. Which if she looks at it in hindsight, though, he made the right decision. And he says it during tribal. As soon as, I guess, something happened during tribal council, he saw a look on Ashley's face, and he knew that he had to play it for himself, which is smart. I don't like Joe. I don't like giving him credit, but hey, I have to give credit where credit is due. And if he saw something and he saw it and he went with his gut and he played his idol for himself and it worked out, good for him. I think one of my favorite quotes during tribal today was when Alan and Joe were having like this little tete-a-tete, if you will. And Joe says that you can never penetrate the heroes. And then Alan fired back with, well, the healers are undefeated and there's 6 of them. we should start taking them out now. I was like, that's actually really smart. Alan's pretty smart. And then Alan obviously goes home, so that was very short-lived.
That's correct. All right. Before we get to final predictions, a couple questions for not only you, but you guys in the chat. 3 favorites right now.
Oh, Desi, especially after this episode.
Okay.
Chrissy, even though she's not on my team, and Ryan, who is still on my team.
So I'm going to go Chrissy, Ryan, and JP.
Why JP, though? He wasn't even prominent in this episode.
No, I just...
You just like him?
I do. I think he's got the complete package in the game, and I'm excited to see how he does, especially now that he doesn't have anyone kind of making up stuff about him in a secret alliance. Or, I just think he's a good competitor across the board, is what I'm sensing. But we'll have to see more of that. Cole, Jessica, better together or better apart?
Apart, especially after this episode, and I think Jessica will see it too, because he's got a big mouth. I don't know how else to put it. Like, I understand why he did what he did, but I don't agree with it at all. He's gonna cause problems between Jessica and himself, and I feel like Jessica sees it. She's gonna start distancing herself from him, and it would have been easier if they were on 2 separate tribes, but they're not. They're on the same tribe. Do you like them together?
I don't like them together, but I'm always intrigued by couples on the shows. I'm not particularly fond of this one. I don't sense that it really makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And it seems weird that he was calling her a dream girl and then spewing off information so quickly. But I can't tell who's more innocent, Cole or Jessica.
He's got it. I feel like innocence comes with naivete, and I feel like he's just so naive, and that's why he keeps doing these stupid things.
And that's why I'm wondering who's more innocent, though. That's why I can't figure it out, which is kind of wild.
She's 30 years old. She can't be that innocent.
She's pretty innocent. She told us her story.
I know, and I understand her story, but just because you're a virgin does not mean that you don't know life.
I agree. I'm not equating innocence with not knowing life. I promise you on that. Last but not least, I've already said I really like the idea of the kind of 1 week or each tribal or each advantage being only good for that next tribal. You're alike on that?
I do agree, and I think a lot of people in our chat agree with that as well. I feel like when players have these advantages that are spanned over, you could use it when you're in the top 7, or you could use it at any tribal that you want. I feel like that's too much power to give a player, and it becomes, I don't want to say predictable, but that's kind of where I'm leaning, because you know that they have this in their pocket and they can use it whenever they want. I feel like that's unfair. I feel like if you're going to play Survivor, you have to, stay on your toes, and I feel like this using advantages right at the next tribal or passing it on to somebody, forces them to stay on their toes, and B, creates, like we saw with Chrissy and Ryan, creates relationships without even having to be on the same tribe as this person, which I think is really cool. Like, you get to the merge, and what's her face, or not even like relationships in a good way. It could be relationships in a bad way, because Jessica had this secret advantage, she gave it to Devin, and now when they get to the merge, if they both get to the merge, Devin's gonna be like, who the hell gave me that damn advantage? And Jessica's gonna be like, sorry, and he's gonna be like, now you're my target. Like, that, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm all in on that. All right, anything else before we do predictions?
No, I think we did a really good breakdown of this episode.
All right, so we're running a 2-man game here, the Mike show. All right, let's get to the predictions, and you tell me what you think is going to happen.
Predictions.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Ooh.
So?
Well, some of my predictions. You, Rourke apparently wants to do an all-girl alliance. I don't know how that's going to fare, because I know, based on past seasons, when a tribe member tries to do an all-boy alliance or an all-girl alliance, it usually ends up failing. So I don't think that that's going to be very successful. Devin and Ashley's relationship, I feel like, is going to expand, because I feel like Devin trusts Ashley more than he does Desi and Joe, which really, really sucks, because I want Desi to understand that she needs to drop the titles and understand Joe's not good for her game, and then maybe go with Devin and Ashley, and hopefully vote out Joe, because I really don't like him. I feel like the players this episode were really shocked that Patrick went home, and I feel like once they see that Alan was the one sent home, another physical threat in the game, which we see which we've seen on a lot of past seasons of Survivors, the physical threats go home really early. That's why I'm a little worried about JP.
Well,
yeah.
Yep.
So that's, I mean, when they see that Alan's gone, I feel like everybody who's a physical threat needs to start, I don't know, playing a better social game or something, because I feel like they're all in danger.
I think that's the key, though.
What?
Is the social game part.
Yeah.
But I don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
Is that
No, that's what do you think?
Well, I want to piggyback on what
Yeah.
you said. So, starting with the Devin Ashley kind of tandem tag team, that will be interesting to see develop. But I think they're going to be able to get Desi on their side, and I think they're going to be able to eliminate Joe as soon as possible. Yeah. Furthering the comment about the physical players being taken out early, I think what you see with the physical players that get taken out early is they have some other component that's really messed up. And with Patrick, we saw that he was kind of clueless as far as understanding that his other team was part of it and that how to be a team member. I think we see with Alan, he stirred up trouble. He couldn't just be physical, but he had to do other things and show himself, be the macho guy. I think with JP, I think there is some smarts there. And speaking of the all-girl alliance, it was funny because right when he found out that they wanted a all-girl alliance, his first remark was, "She's got to go."
Yeah.
And so, not that I'm saying that that's the right way immediately, but it shows that he's thinking about the game in another level, and that just isn't good. And it seems like he has a plan.
Yeah.
I also liked seeing how in JP in the challenge when he was with the two, pulling kind of like the tug of rope, almost like, and he was like, "All right, we're gonna do it all in unison. 1, 2, 3, pull. 1, 2, 3, pull." Even though he's the strongest. So that's why I'm confident in JP. We'll see how that goes, because it is, if you're a physical player, especially at the start, you're a threat. But I think when you're a physical player and you know your role and you don't cause too much hay at the start, you can kind of get through.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But opposite to that, we look at Cole, and Cole's, I feel like Cole is not that smart, and he would be considered a physical threat. So I feel like Cole might be on his way out too.
Well,
especially if he keeps telling information from everybody
to everyone.
Because if he could do it to Jessica, he could do it to everybody else. And just really quick, in terms of Alan, I know that we gave him a lot of crap in the 4 episodes that he was on, but I do have to give him a little bit of credit on his go out. He said, he doesn't have any hard feelings toward them. He said that they played a really good game. So I thought it was a really good go out for him. I feel like Joe was really braggadocious about it, whereas Alan was actually very
in his final remarks,
he held his own.
They got him. Yeah, I like that about Alan.
Yeah, good for him.
And with that said, that's going to wrap up the episode 4 recap. Tell them where they can find you.
Guys, I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. It's been awesome doing this show with you, Michael.
Oh, it's been a blast. My name is Michael Rippe. You can find me on social media at Mike Rips. Shout out to the engineer, Steven. You killed it tonight. It was a tag team, the Mike and Mike show. We'll see you next week when the girls are back.
Thanks, everybody in the chat.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.